This is going over sine rule to calculate sides in non-right angle triangles. Now, before you start, what you have to realise is labelling your triangle becomes quite important. Now, the angles are capitalised when they're labelled A, B, C, and the sides are lowercase a, b, c. It doesn't matter which one's A, which one's B, which one's C, but as long as the opposite side, or so the side opposite the angle, is the same letter, so A, B, B, C, C. And my advice is, whenever you have to label a triangle, customise it to suit you, which way you prefer working. Now, the actual rule has two forms depending if you're finding sides or angles. So for sides, which we're working on here, is A over sine A equals B over sine B equals C over sine C. And then for angles, sine A over A equals sine B over C over B equals sine C over C. And it's because it's all in a ratio, how it works, all ratios. So I'm going to use this in an example to show you a couple of examples. So with this, I've got the steps there again, I've got my triangle, and the first step is going to be to label your triangle. Now, what's important is customize it to what suits you. Now, I'm going to label here capital A, capital B, capital C, and then that means the opposite, A, B, C. So that's the first thing you do. Then you've got to decide which rule you're using. Now, it's easy because I said these are all the sides in this video. They're all side. So I'm using, or you'll be using, the rule A over sine A equals B over sine B. Now, with that, we don't need to put the C over sine C because we're not using the C's at all for this question. So once you've done that, decide which rule. You want to substitute in the known values. So that means what you know here. So I don't know my A, so I'll do this here in a different colour. It'll just be A over sine 85, because that's the angle there, equals 6, which is my B, over sine 20. Okay, so I've set it up there. Now you have to solve it to find the unknown. Now, when you got a question, well, when you got it like this, to solve it, you're going to be doing A equals sine 85 times all of this side here. That's how we're going to be solving it. So 6 over sine 20. So for that, you'll need a calculator. So I'll just plug that in. So I've got sine 85. It's important to close your brackets here. Times by 6 over sine 20. So if you hit equals on that, you will get your solution for A. So A there, 17.47, so on. So I'm just going to put it to one decimal. Oh, 17.5 centimeters. So it's making sure you set it up, substitute, well, know which formula you're using, which sine rule, and then substituting in appropriately. So I'll show you on the second one here. So same thing again. I've got my triangle and I'm going to label it to start with. So I'm going to go A, B, C, and then opposite is lowercase a, B, C for the sides. Now, with this one here, you might notice we haven't got a value there and we haven't got this angle there. But because it's a triangle, you know that and this equal 180. So you can start off by finding that unknown angle. So 180 minus 80 minus 60 is 40 degrees. So that's 40. So good start there. Now, which rule we're using? Well, we're finding a side. So back at the top there, it's A over sine A equals B over sine B. So that's the rule we're using. A over sine A equals B over sine B. So then you've done that, you're going to substitute in your values that you know. So I don't know A, so it stays there. Sine A, well that's the 40 here. So sine 40 equals B, which is 10, over sine 80. So that 60 degrees is not actually needed in the calculation now. So like I said, to solve that, that's going to be A equals, so that's sine 40 multiplied by 10 over sine 80. So once again, you get your calculator. So I'm going to put in sine 40, close the bracket, multiply by 10 over sine 80, hit equals, and I'll come up with my answer there. So 6.527, but I'm going to round it to just 6.5 centimeters. Now I've got a couple for you down here to give a go. One's like the first example, one's like the second. Pause it, give it a go, and then I'll go over those answers for you quickly. All right, so first one here, shift across there so you can see. I'm going to call that A, B, C, then opposite sides A, oh, sorry, that's B and that's C there. So I've got here A over sine A, because we're using sides still, equals B over sine B. I'm rewriting the formula each time to make sure, well, it's a practice I want you to get into so you make sure you remember it, okay? So once again, using the values that you know, I've got 12 over sine 50 equals B over sine 70. So it doesn't matter which way your A and B is, but your unknowns on top. So we're going to do the same thing, which is going to be B equals sine 70 times 12 over sine 50. Then in your calculator, same thing. So I'll do that. So sine 70 times 12 over sine 50, hit equals, and it gives me 14.7 centimeters. Okay, don't forget the units on there. And then final one, once again, I've only given you these two angles, but we need that angle there. So you could always do 180 minus 25 minus 60 is 95. So we know that's 95. And then label your triangle. So A, B, C. So that makes that A, that B, that C. So with this one, we'll label it a bit funny, but we'll have A over sine A, and because they're C's that we need, I'm going to put C over sine C. It doesn't matter, it can be that way around. It can work like that still. So what we're doing, substituting the values we know. So I've got A, well I don't know A, sine 95 on the bottom, equals C, which is 15, over sine 25. So that means we're going to do sine 95, running out of room there. So A equals sine 95 times 15 over sine 25. Put it in your calculator. So sine 95, close bracket, times 15 over sine 25, hit equals, and then you get your answer there of 35.4 to 1 decimal place. And that is using the sine rule to calculate the missing sides.